We've got even more Cowboys news for you coming out of Stephen Jones' conversations with the Dallas Morning News' David Moore. Obviously, broke down a bunch of this stuff on Monday, now doing again on Tuesday, including Trey Lance's future with the Dallas Cowboys. Seems like that one is done. Drafting a quarterback, if that's going to be the plan for the Cowboys, the future of DeMarcus Lawrence, and the claim from Stephen Jones. The Cowboys will be, quote-unquote, aggressive in free agency. So do you want them to be more aggressive? Or even just do more? I do. I assume every single person watching does. I don't see any reason why we can't set the record of like 7,000 likes on today's show. Because every single Cowboys fan should want them to do more in free agency. If that applies to you, like that video for me right now. Let's go to the claims of spending more. That is what Stephen Jones claims. That they'll be more aggressive in free agency. That they'll spend more. They'll do more than what they've done in years past. He was asked, are you going to do more in free agency? Steve said, I think there's probably a good chance of that. Between what we lost last year and what we have free this year, I think that's part of it. Every year is its own year. We will be selectively strategic and aggressive. Maybe selectively is doing a lot of the heavy lifting on that particular quote. But I want to see you spend, Catboy. I want to see you sign 3 outside free agents that are more than $4 million a year. How awesome would that be? Now, I'll say this. I do not anticipate a very splashy signing in free agency. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. I would be shocked. But if you can give me several, even just Eric Kendricks level moves, not Ronald Jones-esque moves, not Royce Freeman-esque moves, give me guys that are clear-cut starters, even if they are on one-year deals, that Phil needs. I can still draft someone if I like it, just like they did with Maurice Leafau this past season, and can help me out. That is doable, and that is needed, frankly, right now for this Cowboys organization. They simply don't have the bodies otherwise. They have to go do stuff like that. They have to. Otherwise, they're not serious about winning football games this upcoming season. What is your confidence level in the Jones boys? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. Pin comment on today's show, so if the ad comes here on YouTube, it's fine. Take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. 1 to 10 is your scale. Let's talk to DeMarcus Lawrence's future. Stephen Jones was uncertain about what it was going to be, even kind of acknowledging potential retirements with Tank and what the future ends up looking like on that one, which I have question marks on that front. Stephen Jones saying, quote, we don't know that one yet. We're going to meet his agent here. Now, here, by the way, refers to the Combine, just to be clear on that one. Sometimes I wonder if that quote was like about Stephen, because it wasn't clear reading the Dallas Morning News article, like, because David's mentioning retirement and wanting to play, and maybe it's wanting to play for the Cowboys in particular. That's certainly an option. I'll say this. I am glad the Cowboys have Combine meetings planned. You know, hunker down at one of your restaurants, go get a back room at Prime, and just knock stuff out. Meet with Tank's agent and Micah's agent and Osa's and you know, Rico Dowdle and Jordan Lewis and all your guys, and go tamper a little bit. Just don't get caught doing it like everyone else does. Like, I don't know if Tank wants to retire, but I think it'd be a good thing if the if I don't see Steven and Jerry out there partying and having a good time and you know, talking with media and stuff, good. It means they're working. I do wonder if this ends up being for Tank in particular I'm going to play elsewhere situation to wrap up my career. I think he's a good fit with what Eberflus wants to do, and as long as he's not crazy expensive, I've got a lot of interest there. He was really good in his 4 games this year, actually. He was on pace for one of his better years ever. I mean, he almost had as many sacks this year in 4 games as he had the past 3 years. That's good. Now, the injuries are a red flag at his age. I don't want to spend big money on him. If I can get him back on a 2-year deal maybe, keep him, you know, under at $10 million per year, give him incentives, you know, for sacks and stuff, maybe if he's open to that, I'm down. He might not want to do that, and I get that in the end. But if I can bring back Tank, which means I probably lose Chauncey Golston, it's fine, then I feel good about my defensive end grouping, as long as they stay healthy this time around, which is a fair question mark. Today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. It is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You pick more, or less on at least 2 players for a shot to up to 1,000 times your cash. You can run your game all season long on Prize Picks. It is the best place to get in on the action in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. By the way, speaking of California and Texas, I am all in on trigger phrase there, I guess, and trigger conversation for Mavs fans on Luka revenge game against Dallas on Tuesday night. I just, come on. That's a no-brainer for me. I'll do the flex play here on this as well because I don't want to. If I get one wrong, I still cash out, and that's always valuable. By the way, Prize Picks invented the flex play. You can still double your money even if one of your picks does not hit. So download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS over at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Let's talk Trey Lance then. Stephen Jones sure made it sound like his time in Dallas was over after 2 years and a wasted 4th-round pick. Stevens, we took a shot at Trey and wanted to do that. We think the world of him. But us having Dak signed up for the long term, I think he's probably going to be looking for something different, which I get. I don't think Lance wants to be stuck as just a backup. He'd like to try to find a better chance somewhere else. I just wonder, though, what his market's going to be. He hasn't played a lot. The preseason is where he got most of his run, outside of 1 game this year. He has not played a lot of real snaps, and he hasn't been that great when he's played. He's kind of still the mystery box prospect in the end. After all these years, Trey Lance, who hasn't turned 25 yet, who is still younger than some prospects in this upcoming NFL draft, real statement, by the way, is still an unknown. So if I were Lance, I would strongly consider going to the UFL. And I would showcase my abilities. I try to make some splash. I would dominate a lower level of competition. And then maybe I boost my value in the open market. The timing's unusual. The timing's not great. I admit that. But that might be better long term. And maybe you can latch on somewhere on a 1-year deal. And then you have all that great UFL performance and tape. And you can cash in at some point later on. Maybe you get a bit more guaranteed money. You boost your value. Teams maybe keep a backup spot open for you. In a not great free agency and draft class, I don't hate that idea for Trey Lance, even though it is kind of unique there. Now, we have Cowboys videos for you all year long. Do not miss out. Free Cowboys videos, oftentimes multiple times per day. Hit that sub button for me right now. So let's talk drafting a quarterback then, because that is what Stephen Jones also expressed interest in doing in this year's NFL draft. Stephen said this, I think one of our goals is to get a young QB in the draft. I don't know where that's going to be. Now, of note, as part of the Dallas Morning News article on this, David Moore mentioned that Brian Schottenheimer and quarterbacks coach Steve Shimko want to do this, that they want to find a young QB to develop and grow, which, by the way, if you're looking for a young QB to develop and grow, age-wise, there's not that much of a difference than some of the guys coming out and Trey Lance. He's 2 years older than Riley Leonard, just as an example. So that might indicate to me, kind of reading tea leaves, that maybe the coaching staff didn't love, didn't love the overall play of Trey Lance. And they want to go get younger and also cheaper because it's a 4-year contract with likely a day 3 pick. And even though in general, I hate this quarterback class. I don't think it's good. I've got real concerns. I just don't believe in very many of them, especially not your day 3 guys. One will probably be good. Maybe you can identify him and get lucky and develop him properly. But I have no issue spending one of your 5, whatever it is, it's 4, one or 3. One of your multitude of 5th-round picks on a QB on day 3. That's fine. That's fine value. The upside is worth it. You can carry 3 guys anyway. You almost want to carry 3 guys. I don't have any issues with that. That's fine. I'm not going to call that a wasted pick because the hit rate is so low at that point anyway, especially in this particular class. I've got little issues doing that. Who that is, I don't know. I assume Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart are all gone at minimum. And I would not be surprised if by the time we get to the 5th round, maybe Will Howard is gone, Quinn Ewers is gone, who I don't love anyway. Tyler Shuck might be gone there. Maybe Kyle McCord falls. Who knows? Maybe Dylan Gabriel's there. Riley Leonard, Curtis Rourke out of Indiana, Max Brosmer. It's again, I don't love the class, but if you want to spend a 5th-round pick on someone to try to develop and see how that comes along, and even if you develop into a backup, that's actually good value for what you're getting in a 5th-round pick. So I don't have issues there. Just don't spend an early one because this quarterback class is not worth it for me. So do you want to draft a quarterback this year? Y for yes, N for no. Just don't force the pick. Get the value you want. Otherwise, don't force picks. The Cowboys are bad doing that. Y for yes, N for no in the comments section of today's show. One more note here on Cooper Rush. Stephen Jones also said that he'd like to retain Rush this offseason at the right price. ATRP, the famous or preferred buzzword abbreviation for the Cowboys. Stephen's saying, you know how much we think of Cooper? We just don't know what he's going to cost. When we're paying Dak, we're paying him. Unfortunately, we do have to go cheap there. Which, again, he's not wrong. Look around the NFL. It's how all these teams do it. The Chiefs aren't paying Carson Wentz anything behind Patrick Mahomes, you know? And I do think Rush will probably be cheap. He is who he is. I have a tough time seeing a ton of interest in him. And if not, okay, I'll take my future comp pick, and I can ride with Will Grier if I really want to, or I can draft somebody, or I can sign a cheaper option. Rush is a game manager. He does a fine job. The injury concerns I have for Dak Prescott are very real. That is actually one of my biggest concerns in general when it comes to Dak is him staying healthy. Rush is who he is. He's going to be 60% and can't push the ball downfield very well. Isn't a great athlete. Had a fumbling issue too. If you lose him, I'm not going to be upset by it. He's not done the best work against the teams you have to be like. Philadelphia's been really bad with him. So if he leaves, okay. Maybe it's Grier and a draft pick. Maybe it's a free agent signing and a draft pick and Grier. Whatever, that's fine. I'm not going to lose sleep over the future of Cooper Rush in the end.